Oh man, welcome everybody. We got a good one today. We got a lot of numbers, a couple of announcements, and then a State of the Union.
Yes.
Casey, what a great time to do a State of the Union too, right after we get back from Cabo, with a lot of people that we had not had an opportunity to meet with personally yet. Seems like there's more and more of that happening as we've just kind of gotten through COVID over the last couple of years. So it's so good to get out and see people and meet people. But we got a lot to talk about, so we should probably cut the shenanigans today. Brian, I know you're
5-minute drill, Brandon. 5-minute drill.
We're going through it though, man. Let's do it.
I got my timer out for you. 5-minute drill. All right.
Oh man, always makes me a little nervous.
All right. You get a little grace period of a minute.
7 minutes at least. All right, here we go. Number one new writer for the week was Gail Wayne, $10,613. Number one personal producer was Lola Onafade, $42,118. Goodness gracious, that's a lot.
In a week.
Elliot Freer and Maxwell Baker tied with 19 apps to be the top app count producers for the week. Chad Semper, top Medicare sup writer for the week with $4,000. Way to go. Top disability writer for the week was Lee McGraw. Great name for like a country music singer. Top IUL producer was Manny Manuel, $30,108. Way to go, man. There's 10 IULs, by the way. Ain't easy to do. Top annuity producer Gail Green, $511,511. Just kind of works out sometimes. Top DFL producer Sarah Gonzalez Gutierrez with almost $50,000. Frederick Post was like, thought he had it in the bag too. Sorry. Jamie Susie had the most new writers in the base and in the direct organization. Way to go, Seuss. Top SNAs was Jimenez and Offert and Susie, all with 2. Top in the direct was Jimenez with 3. And here are our seasoned new agents: Fleming, Rostad, Kearney, McLaughlin, Gathright, Payton, Holcomb, Hill, Drosler, Bosland, Dennison, Lara, Hardy, Cloninger, Campbell, Jamita, Daigle Quidri, Prather, Howard, Geller, York, Nakiso, Sherma Hamadi, and Walker.
Well done, Brandon, and well done, SNAs.
I don't think I missed a single one.
I don't think you did.
I can't tell you how relieved I am. You've been calling me to read that today, buddy.
Right. There's about 12 SNAs out there and be like, nope. Not even close.
You gave it one heck of the old college try, though. Buddy.
Sometimes if you just say it with confidence, other people that haven't met these folks yet know that they know it's right.
That's why you're the GOAT.
Yeah, right. Manny Manuel, the top key leader for the week. We will do monthly leaderboards next week, by the way. Scott Peterson with 6 recruits, and Logan Moore and Nicole Russell, both with 2 new writers. Chad Harrington, top agency owner for the week. William Berry, the top recruiter, and Steve Barnett with the most new writers with 3. David Alvarado, 143. Look at Reineke's numbers. Boom.
Smoking it.
That's really good. Pulled the old team together. I love it, man. Ben Safepour, 12 recruits. Excuse me, and Sarah with 11 new writers. Way to go, everybody on the board. Manzano fell just short of Balmer. Dave Lappin and Josh Hershey had the most recruits, tied with 10, and Eileen had the most new writers with 6. Griff Martin sits at the top of the board for the top MVP, with Chris Cook having the most recruits, tied with John Ziller also for the most new writers. Nate Offert, 196,000, 13 recruits. Mike and Sarah Pappas tied with Nate Offert with 8 new writers. Scott Mank is the top executive vice president. Scott Mank is the top recruiter, and Scott Mank has the most new writers. Some people said it's not a turkey leg last week, Casey. It's a turkey. That doesn't make any sense.
I guess we added the leg part.
I heard it somewhere along the way. Maybe it's an Alabama thing, right? Lynn Watkins, 510,000. Ryan Michelle Miller with 30 recruits, and Lynn had 15 new writers. Danny Young, the top senior partner. He has the most recruits and the most new writers. No stranger to the turkey or the hat trick. Marshall Whalen and Edward Pritchett. Look how close that is. Look how close that is. Marshall Whalen with the most new writers. Congratulations. Marshall Whalen with also, recruits and new writers. Well done, sir. Top direct is Jacob Pogue. He has the most recruits, and Jamie Susie has the most new writers with 9.
Nice.
Timmy Penso is the top base shop writer with 67,000 in production. Ben Safety-Poor, Bradley Shinovar. The whole row here is tied. Pritchett, Andrick, Puckett. Way to go, everybody. Everybody with 5. And Susie with the most new writers with 7. Way to go. Uh-oh. Here's where you recognize who the big dogs are right here. Look at these numbers. Hello. $880,000 in bonuses paid out last month, just on the 120 equity side. Marshall Whalen with the most of those with 158,000. Pritchett just broke out his third 120 in Griff Martin. So we'll see what happens there. But congratulations to everybody that made this board. It is the boards you want to find yourself on. Also on the capital side, Sarah Reineke and Sean Kim looks like they tied for number 1 with $2,161. And the top producer bonus was to Wes Raines, $7,500 in bonus money. Way to go. Way to go. That is a grand total for those keeping score at home of over $1 million, $1,028,829 in bonuses paid out just for October. That's exciting. I think this is a Mr. B-Dubs, right?
Yep, I'll keep in the spirit of efficiency and moving things forward. This survey, Quality People Insights, goes out today. It is impossible to put a dollar number on the value that you will get from the insights of surfacing the hidden people dynamics in your agency. So asking all of you, once that comes into your inbox today, fill that out, be open and honest, and it's really going to help us get great data for your agency leaders and us as an organization to move the needle due to the people insights, leadership insights, and engagement insights. So knock that thing out and let's get some value from that.
Very well, sir. Champions Cup standings as we speak. Misty Cintron is leading the way on the Champions division, but James Satterfield and Sean Hug are right behind. Jacob Pogue leading by a significant margin in the directs division, unless Eddie's sandbagging a pretty good bit. Could be. You never know. Top base shop is James Satterfield right now, and Misty Cintron is the top agency owner. Way to go. I think we might be able to hear from Misty here in just a little bit.
I believe so.
We've got the Mike Quilty Concierge, Ashley Tarr right now, Ashton DeLonga Lunde, and Lola Onafade. I need some help on Lola's last name, someone. Have a training tomorrow, Thursday, 11 o'clock with Walmart Health Virtual Care. So be sure to be on there because it's going to be a good one. We also have a reset call on Tuesday, which we're going to talk some about today, which is exciting. And really just all of advanced markets. Jeff Sigworth and Nate Burks will be hosting as usual. Get it in your calendar. And there we go.
Well, Brandon.
It was pretty good. It was 11 minutes.
6 or 7 now.
I think I got started late though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was really good. I'm going to give
Thank you, sir. I think we actually have a video to play today.
Newton Vale.
Newton Vale.
Harder than I was expecting. You ready for your slap?
I'm good, man. I'm good. About to get real good.
We needed a partner. And who did we choose? Walmart. My Quilty is more to me than the platform name. It's a reminder that we are doing something more significant than ourselves.
Quilty is investing in our future by making sure that data is not only an asset, but also a tool that really helps us become a household name.
We want you to learn about Quilty Term Plus.
You could literally sell all of our products with that same process, one input, all gets underwritten simultaneously.
How much is Switchboard going to cost agents?
Very excited to announce that this is actually free.
Growing perpetually towards your limitless potential. And that's when you're in this sort of effortless, flow state of happiness that I believe everybody has the ability to get to if they design their life with the intention of getting there.
For the Buffalo Spirit Award this year, please help us honor the lives and the memories of Coach Terry Garvey, Jimmy Spilldinner, and Matt Smith. Please help us welcome our winners, George and Janet Matthews.
When you run away from storms, guess what happens? You stay in it longer. Buffaloes charge into it. You're gonna have the same collateral damage, but guess what? You're in a smaller season.
I was down, I was broken, but I had power.
May we steward a culture of empowerment and opportunity for everybody that is here.
So many others told me, Andrew, if you continue to just believe in yourself and fight for yourself, I'm telling you, you're gonna get everything that you ever wanted.
If your path is difficult, it is because your purpose is higher than you thought. Don't quit.
Your legacy is not about what you leave for people. It's about what you leave in people.
Guys, we believe we have a multi-billion-dollar opportunity in front of us.
I like it.
Man, that was great. Golly, conference was awesome this year, wasn't it?
Brings back some very fond memories.
Yeah, it does.
What year?
I was going to ask you what your highlight was. I know that's too difficult of a question. It's probably when I smacked you on stage. You were too hard.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. In all fairness to everyone out there, because Brandon has been worried about that. He thinks he's.
I don't want anybody to think I really hit you too hard.
Yeah, I did ask him behind the stage to really. I just said I don't want to fake it, so you got to give me a good slap, and he did it. He's got a good touch. It was just borderline enough. I mean, it could have been just a little bit harder. I would have passed. He would have knocked me out on stage.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I would have done if I knocked you on
opening
stage.
monologue all by yourself, man.
I don't know what I would have done. I don't think anybody would have forgiven me for a long time. So many good things to talk about, sir. And we have a lot of people on to talk with us before we get to hearing from some top producers and some advisory board members and advisory board alumni. Let's hit the old PowerPoint, shall we?
Good, man.
Here we go. State of the Union, Q4, 2022. A lot of people on the call today, Casey. I don't want you getting nervous.
That's too late for that, dude.
Take a deep breath and just deliver your lines. This will take it off. I don't even know that we talked about this when we were the Insurance Company of the Year 2022 for the Gold Stevie. Nice. It's our first Stevie.
That's right.
Right? That's a good one.
Good way to kick the PowerPoint off with some awards.
I think so. We also just won in December the Best in Business 12th Annual Gold Winner Company of the Year, and also the Bronze Winner for Philanthropist of the Year, which was fantastic. Previous winners, check this out. Previous winners being Microsoft, John Hancock, Experian, Walmart, Cvent, Fidelity. Not too shabby.
Not a bad crowd to be.
Not a bad crowd, buddy. Not bad. All right, here we go. How have we done this year? We got a few more weeks to go. Let's see. I think this is through, I can't remember what Joe told me. I think this may be through November. Projected still to finish at 223, up from 205 with an 8% increase. And I love to put it in context on the right-hand side over there, what the average weekly submit looks like from 2020 when COVID started to now, right?
So crazy, Brandon. I can remember when we were trying to hit 3 to 4 million in a year when we first started our company, and now we're looking at that on a weekly basis, which is just, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And I think it's okay for us to just kind of pause for a second here to look at these numbers and just to kind of talk about, you know, what the last 6 to 8 months, Casey, has kind of looked like, much less the last 2 years, 2.5 years even. But, you know,
man, you're right, dude. I think this is a interesting slide to pause on for a second. I think when you think about it, especially kind of looking back at that video, I think it's good for us to just acknowledge the year we've had as a company. I can't remember a year since we've started this company. Can't remember a year like this one. We've just been through so much together. You just mentioned the economy. In the last 20 years, I can remember two economic shifts. This is one of them. And so we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge the economy shifts. We have to acknowledge the fact that through this shift in economy, when there's changes in the market like this, there's a lot of opportunity in that change and adversity, because while a lot of other companies have retreated or have kind of cashed their chips in, that's created an opportunity for us. And through that opportunity has come a lot of transformation. We have thrown a lot at you guys. And so if you're out there thinking that, you're not crazy. We just want to take a moment to acknowledge how much we've thrown at you guys. And I think the word, Brandon, that comes to my mind when I think about all of this is just gratitude. Gratitude for the, it never ceases to amaze us, the strength and resilience that you guys have when we have a year like we've had, and the change and the transformation and the economic shifts and all that we've gone through, and to be staring at a screen right now that is showing this kind of growth, which, when this company's super small, when we were in our first year or two, 8% growth wouldn't have been that hot. But for a company this size that's gone through what we've gone through this year, this is amazing. And this is something that we are so grateful to you guys, from everyone listening in, the corporate staff, to all of you guys out there on the sales side of things. Wow. Just so much gratitude for the strength and resilience we're seeing from you guys. So thank you for an amazing year. And it's not over yet. We still got a few weeks left, don't we?
Absolutely. Reminds me of at conference, we awarded the Buffalo Spirit Award to Coach Garvey and Jimmy Spildinner and Matt Smith. And, it's really, when you talk about strength and resiliency, it's like that. It could have gone to the entire company, to so many leaders that have kind of fought through a lot that has happened. And, from losing family members, like I just talked about, to the economy, like you're just talking about, even going back to looking at the numbers on the right-hand side of the screen with COVID happening, and then we're still growing to the degree that we did. You guys are still growing to the degree that you did, I think speaks volumes, from making that shift to virtual or to telesales, to learning new software, to learning new lead programs. We worked a lead type, basically the same two lead types for the first 13 years of the company's existence, and then having to change on a dime, and you guys figuring out how to work those the best, figuring out how to work the technology the best that allows you to work them the way that they need to be worked with digital leads, new ways of engaging with your clients. It's I'm with you. I think we're extremely lucky and blessed to be part of a culture of growth like this, where people have expectations that they have for themselves and for their agencies. And this is what you get at the end of it. So congratulations to everybody that has gone through this. And as you said, Casey, we got a few more weeks to go, but we always like to talk about this time of year, and what would you really be kind of focused on with all of the things that we've got going on with Switchboard, digital leads, recruiting, so many different changes. Where would your focus be right now?
I think the focus would be in just recognizing the opportunity and timing. So if you're brand new with us and you haven't quite got the feel of that, I think that's our job as founders of this company, is to continually try to zoom out with you guys on, because it's, you guys are in the trenches and you're in the day-to-day, but the reflection on the opportunity and the timing in this massive land grab that we're in the middle of right now. It's just crazy to think that we're in, nearly $1 trillion space, And we don't have competitors focused on changing the agent and the client experience.
Right.
I mean, we're looking around and no one's focused on leads. No one's focused on lead quality, lead quantity. How do we actually innovate in that space so that as agents, we have plenty of clients that want to talk to us? No one's focused on software and applications to actually help us to, always, again, going back to saving that time, how can we streamline the process so it's not just easier for us as agents, but it's easier for clients. No one's focusing on actual digital products that are faster and more frictionless for the client and again for the agent. So it's just crazy to reflect on that and know that the agents in this market, and there are hundreds of thousands of them. That's just in the life insurance space. Not even thinking about outside of people that are licensed and ready to get with us, but just the market out there of unemployment, the people looking for jobs just like we have. It's perfect timing for you guys to be thinking about 2023 and getting quiet as we're getting ready to head into the holidays. Use this time to use that moment to reflect on the opportunity and to start to set goals, and start to really dream. My question would be, how am I unlocking that next level of motivation for 2023? How am I unlocking that next level of commitment to creating new habits that are going to be good for me? And so the exercise of just getting quiet with your goals and your dreams, write that stuff down, get it out of your head and get it onto paper and really spend some time thinking about, where do I want my life to be in 5 years? And think about the big buckets of your life. Think about the business and the finance side of things, obviously, but where do I want to be on that side? Where do I want to be with my health? Where do I want to be with my relationships? And I think if you're anything like me and you actually do get this stuff out of your brain and on paper, and you actually go through the exercise of doing that, what I realize sometimes, Brandon, is if I really dream and think about where I want to be in 5 years, and then I start to look at that list, sometimes I'll start to chop it down a little bit. Say, I don't know how likely that is, or I don't know this would, you start to kind of have these limiting thoughts around where you want your life to be. And it just reminds you of like how important, to me, it reminds me of, the limiting thought patterns we all have, and how if you stop dreaming, if you stop setting goals, if you stop thinking about what you want, your brain just kind of goes into neutral, and you kind of get stuck. And so thinking about the opportunity that's ahead of us, thinking about the massive land grab that's coming our way, if you want to unlock that extra motivation, which we're going to need to have this land grab because there's still change coming, there's still transformation coming, we better unlock that next level of motivation, that next level of discipline, that next level of habit creation. And it all starts with why. Why are we doing this? What do we want in 5 years? That's where I think my brain would be, Brandon, right now.
I think you're exactly right. I would say also focusing on, who do I need to become to get the things that I want, right? It starts with, what do I want? Why do I want it? Who do I need to become? And what does that look like? What is it going to take for me to become the type of person that can get those things? Because you can look around the organization and there's, hundreds of examples of people that are more than likely where you want to be, right? And what's different about the people that are getting the results than what's different with those folks than what I am or what I'm willing to give or who I am. So I think it starts there. I think also understanding, as you were just saying very clearly, that there are a lot of people out there that need you right now from a recruiting standpoint. Everything that Casey was just talking about, because there are companies that are not focusing on the agents, they're not focusing on what the best thing for the client, what those best things are. Those people need you. Go find them. And it's crazy how many people in Cabo that we were talking to, Casey, that have seen an uplift in recruiting, seen an uplift in licensed agent recruiting, seen an uplift in how many people are reaching out to them, but also how many people are focused on putting the systems in to go out and help those folks. Let them see what you have to offer. I know that we've in the past maybe had a little bit of a hands-off approach, and we want to be very clear. I think it's hands-on time.
That's
And
right.
if they're not a fit for Symmetry, then stick them over in wholesale. But I think everybody out there is a fit for Symmetry because of what there is to offer there. So that's
Well
what I'd be
said, man.
focusing on, man.
Well said, man. What a year.
What a year. Give yourselves a hand if you grew. And I would also just say how much gratitude there is for how many people that are putting in the grind, going through the grind to get what they want, putting in the hard work, not being satisfied with, you know, how maybe how easier things have become, or how simpler things have become in some ways when it comes to at least producing or recruiting or building, not having that income threshold where instead of making $100,000 now in 20 hours a week or whatever maybe they were doing, they're focused on how do I grow that? How do I make a bigger impact on a lot more people to grow, just to grow the size of my organization, right? And there are more people working harder than they've ever worked than we've ever said. And that's, you know, we also are really big on passive income and buying your time back. So don't hear us wrong. We still want people to do the most important things, which is find the time to be around your families and do those things, but systematize your work if you have to get the results, and just accept the or lean into that discomfort of just really hard work, man. More than ever, we're seeing that.
Yeah, Brandon, I think what we see, you know, there are two types, it seems like, of person when it comes to some of the change and transformation we've had as a company. There's the type that lean into it and recognize that, you know, that opportunity is often disguised as change and adversity, and that's where the opportunity is, right? And then there's the type that tend to maybe use that change and discomfort as a bit of a crutch, you know, and it kind of will paralyze them a little bit because they go, well, you know, for 13 years, we've had processes. Everything is like, read the script, here it is, here's the schedule. Like, and then for the last couple of years, we've went through this like, well, we've got to come up with new processes. We've got to come up with new ways of doing things. And we can't exactly beta test that in a small enough group to get best practices down. So a lot of that has been on all of our shoulders to try to like figure out, how do we actually do this? How do we work? What's the best practices around digital leads? What are the best ways to approach Switchboard? You know, and I think that point again of, you know, not letting that change kind of create a crutch where it's like, well, you know, it seems like there's not quite a process, so I'm just going to kind of wait until someone, you know. And that's what we're not saying. That was such a beautiful thing about Cabo, is we were able to kind of hear the stories and hear how many of you guys are out there just leaning into that change. Even if that process isn't quite clear, we're not using that as a holdback or a way to kind of, you know, an excuse. We're leaning into that. So
yeah,
so
I think
awesome.
it's such a great point that it's important to understand that sometimes things have to change very rapidly. And if you don't make changes very quickly, even if you get them a little bit wrong, at least you're moving forward to get them right. We're going to be working on these processes and best practices and everything that you're talking about. But if we waited to get all of those things exactly right, it would have done a lot of damage to a lot of organizations out there and to the company as a whole. And so I think just major gratitude to the people like you're saying that lean in and help us figure these things out. You guys are the best ones to figure it out with us, you know? So, all right, a couple more stats here. What am I looking at here? Oh, leads. It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah, 447,000 or 48,000 in 2020, had a jump to 636. I think this was, we're up 10% on the year, projected to finish at 705,000, which is pretty amazing, especially considering the mortgage market, the craziness going on there, the impact on direct mail. Still looking at a 10% increase in leads with significant increases in Razor Ridge, other digital leads, and now we're working a lot more as well on some of the analog practices. Unique
Brandon,
riders.
last slide, we probably would have ended at half this number in 2021 had we not actually learned new tricks, created new digital leads, lean into that. I mean, that number could have easily been 3 to 4,000.
It could have been a disaster.
Yeah,
it could have been a disaster. It really could have. Unique riders, look at this growth. I mean, this is so impressive, guys. Almost 30% growth year over year, 976 seasoned new agents. On unique riders, 29% growth, new riders, 11% growth year over year. I would say that if you're not turning people if you're not onboarding successfully and turning people into riders and then SNAs, that's one of the things I'll get quiet with over the holidays to really put some focus on. Who are the people that are doing it really well? And we're going to help with best practices on that as well as we continue to talk through best practices, but we're going to really continue to lay that out next year as well. Total bonuses paid, $11.6 million, equity in 129.2 million. I mean, look at these numbers. Congratulations if you're getting a big old chunk of that, man.
Bonuses a year, Brandon.
Oh my gosh. If you're getting a chunk of that, congratulations. If you're not, again, what are you going to do differently? Who are you going to become that can get that? Yep. And then we also had 900, just shy of $1 million, and we will get past $1 million because I think this is through October, 913,000 paid in the slingshot bonus. Here are kind of the top earners: Jonathan Nitafan, $17,471. Paul DiDonato. I won't go over all of these names, but congratulations if you've taken advantage of the slingshot and the s'more.
Nice work.
Yeah. Maybe Mr. Spivey wants to get on and kind of talk through some of this, or maybe this is just, do we want Spivey to come in later? Todd, are you out there, buddy?
Let's come back to it after the,
okay, we'll come back to you.
Guidelines, yep.
Yeah, we'll come back to you. This is just kind of a reminder of how this works. We'll kind of dig into it here in just a few. We rolled out Quility Strategic Ventures, QSVs, at conference. Apps make us faster. Data makes us smarter. Digital products are the innovation that really drives a lot of what we've accomplished, what you guys have accomplished this year. Leads feed the agent. MyQuility keeps us all connected. These things are continuing to evolve. They will continue to grow and evolve, but we can give a quick update on some of them. In apps with Switchboard, over 2,500 agents already onboarded, over 1 million leads on the platform. Switchboard Dialer Plus has been released. We got funnels and OC sites to be launched by the end of the year. Switchboard is going well. And I think it's important that we understand that, right now, texting is working really well, but you still have to make a lot of dials. It is not meant to replace completely the activities that have gotten you here. It may make it simpler and you may have to do fewer of them, but you still need to be making dials, and who knows what the future holds. Some things may change around texting. It's our job to stay out in front of that. Yep. And Switchboard is going to allow all of the multimodal communication as we grow, with emails, with obviously with text and dialing, but you still got to make a lot of dials. And I think it's important that we continue to hit on that, especially if you're an agency owner. We see messages in recruiting, and it is meant to make things easier, make things more efficient. It is not meant to eliminate the most important activities that you have as a producer, which is you still need to be talking to a whole lot of people. And if it takes dialing, you need to be talking and dialing a whole lot more people.
And just, on Switchboard, any of the software and applications that we're developing, we're getting ready to talk about another one here in a second, Brandon. If this isn't the iPhone, this is the iPhone 1.
That's
Everyone
right.
needs to wrap their head around
baby.
Right now. This is like early, basically beta phase of all of this software and application. It's just going to continue to get better and better and better as we use it and as it evolves. So, you kind of got to go into this with our mindset a little bit, that this is a journey, and some of these things may be changing, these features, some of these clunky items that kind of just are just natural part of a tech transformation and building technology. In a perfect state, we would build all of this and then beta in a vacuum and then get it out to you. But there's so much missed opportunity in doing it that way versus like letting you guys use it and letting it evolve through you. So just go into it with the right mindset. A lot of change coming.
Yes, sir. MyQuility, over 27,000 user base right now, over 82,000 paid in points to agents so far. This thing's just getting started. I mean, it's in its infant phase. We know that we've thrown a lot at people, and so this one, maybe has been a little slower for people to grab a hold of. We're going to keep working on that. The MyQuility credit card was launched, etc. So this is a big one. Digital products, Quility Term Plus. We were hoping it would be released sooner. We always hope when it comes to dealing with insurance companies. Sometimes we're surprised that that it does. We're gonna be cautiously optimistic in the future, but the good news is that we are officially in beta phase. So those of you that have been asking about QTP, man, this is a good one. And if it shakes out the way that we're hoping, it's going to be a game changer. So we'll keep you posted. We also have the Quility Navigator, which we really haven't talked enough about. We'll get into that in a minute, but one application underwritten simultaneously with one input for our digital product suite and testing. It's in beta right now as well. And then we're still looking at IULs, DFLs, final expense, disability, and paycheck protector, all coming out within a few quarters as well. So what is Quility Term Plus? Fully underwritten term with no medical evidence. I'm so used to hearing fully underwritten and thinking like what that means in my mind, that every time I see it, it still means like blood and urine. Nope, don't have any of that. Digital application with a decision in minutes, available in all states other than New York, up to $2 million in coverage, up to 40 years in coverage as a term 40. And this is the big one to me. That all of these are big ones, but to have preferred plus, so basically a table 0 all the way up to table 12, meaning that the vast majority by far of your clients will fit into a product other than maybe like a guaranteed issue, but we're working on that side as well so that we'll all kind of flow through the platform. And then as we were just talking about, Casey, the Navigator.
That was my favorite movie growing up, actually.
Was it?
Every time my family would like send me to Blockbuster, I would come back with Flight of the Navigator. Every single time. I'm probably seen it 15 times. I don't know why I loved it so much.
Oh, that's fantastic. I don't know that this will be, if we can actually use this as our logo. I kind of doubt it. But Resma, I'd love to hear from you on just the products and Flight of the Navigator as well. We've talked about one application underwritten simultaneously with one input. This is kind of a sneak peek look at it. Let me widen my screen here and see if
I'll fire them up under Resma's corner on Navigator and digital products. Very excited for this, everybody.
All right.
Well, a sneak peek at it there, though. A little glimpse at that screenshot, Brandon. Pretty slick.
Yeah, if you look at it, really cool, like all the different quoting features, being able to see all of the term durations up there and price, really great user interface and ease of use with changing the quotings right on the spot, being able to do that with all the products that are on platform. We'll talk about it more in detail, but everything that I've seen, I mean, this is absolutely a game changer, you guys. This will be the platform for the insurance industry going forward.
Yep. And that means it's going to make it a heck of a lot easier to recruit to people over here. We'll dig into some details on that in just a little bit. Another QSV on data, lead data marts and agent data marts, soon to be up. PCS processes are being optimized to move to a submit model, not only in force. That's going to increase lead volume. Leads, we've talked a lot about leads. We're going to continue to grow these. Steady growth in the A leads despite an inflation market. Advanced market leads, which I know Resma will dig into in a little while, IULs, DFL, infinite banking, annuity coming soon. The other ones are ready now. So that's really exciting as well. And Casey, we just hired our first leads GM. Mike Hansen has been kind of running that show for quite a while. And it's going to take a little while for Sam Buckler to kind of get up to speed, but we had a meeting with him yesterday, his official first day. And to say that we were impressed is quite the understatement. We snagged him from Snag-a-Job and Amazon.
Yeah, it's had quite a background.
He has had quite a background in leads.
Very, very much in the vein of what we need him to do with our leads and just innovation around leads and being way ahead of the puck compared to anyone else out there.
Yes, indeed.
Excited about that hire. Sounds going to be awesome.
Yes. And as we talked about at conference, it's time to reimagine agent compensation, shall we?
That's right.
As we announced in core products, which is about, I don't know exactly, 5, 6, 7 products, everyone is getting a raise. That is not with all products because we have to keep our margins healthy or else we can't do all of these other things. But the products that you guys write 90+% of the time, if you're writing the right products already, you're going to see a significant raise there. So that's going to go into effect on December 15th, which is 1 week away. Visit HQ for more information on lead prices and carrier changes. Important to understand how the lead prices are going to work. So it's basically like if you're at a 90% contract right now, it's going to be like you're at a 100% contract with those products and with your lead costs. Okay, so how does that work and how does that affect leads? Okay, as I just said, your cost for leads is related to your new contract level. Average lead cost for a 10% contract level increase is roughly around $5, maybe a little bit less for some leads, touch more for more analog leads. Leads are still going to be priced at a 4 times value net ROI. If you're a top closer, you could see 7 times. I mean, if you're the type of closer that is getting referrals, that is not relying 100% on leads, that you're helping your warm market, helping your clients warm markets, we're seeing people that can have double-digit returns, super high returns. If you're the type of person that does not have a very good close ratio and you're just wanting to make the easy money and work very little time, it's not going to be nearly as good, just like anything else, right? But if the cost is going up $5 per lead, then for the average closer, you're going to get 20% more per lead on average. Okay. That means if you're taking 5 leads a week, first thing you need to do is up that to 10 at a minimum. You should be getting on average, and this is not really on average. I would say that this is kind of the minimum acceptable standard, which is probably Resmo around like a 15-ish%. So we're saying like, if you're just doing the bare minimum, you may not be getting leads for much longer because there are people doing way better than you. But if you're just doing the bare minimum, 5 leads a week would mean an extra 100, 10 an extra 200, 15 an extra 300 in gross commissions. If you're taking 20 leads a week, should be an extra $400 in extra gross commissions. But if you're better than the bare minimum, which most of you are, thankfully, and you have a 30% close ratio, then look at the difference. This is a previous 70% contract level earner to the same agent doing the same amount of business, but now you're getting an 80% on those products. That's about an extra, what is that, about 260, Rezi?
That's
so
correct.
If you're only doing
260, that's net, not the gross commissions, right? So that's net. And then if you take that extra 200 net and you invest that back into more leads, just imagine how that can really continue to roll and increase your income opportunity.
This can definitely snowball on you. We've gone through this exercise, Casey. So you are a 30% close ratio person. Maybe you're taking, what is this, like 10 leads a week right here, Rezi? Taking 10 leads a week, you make an extra $260. You take that $260, you invest it back into however many more leads that is for you. You pick up one more deal in a week. That's giving you an extra $700, $800, $900, depending on what kind of products you're picking up. You take that, you reinvest it back into more leads. Before you know it, you got a house.
That's right.
You got to jump ahead a little bit.
10% raise to a house. And it was important for us to show you guys a little glimpse of the math so you understand this is really just a move up to, again, if you're on a 70, you're moving to an 80. If you're on an 80, you're moving to a 90 with the core products. And your lead cost, someone asked, is my lead cost going up? Your lead cost is going up based on the promotion guidelines of where you would have been if you were moving to a 90% contract level. So that the metrics of the system aren't changes, which is why we wanted to make sure we got this math in front of you, because some people may say, well, yeah, but my contract is going up, but my leads are going up too. Well, that's this is the purpose of this math. The only time that affects you negatively, we've done the math. We know the math on it. The only time that affects you negatively where, well, it might cost me a little bit is if you're at like a 5% close ratio. But those of you who are out there with a 5% close ratio, you shouldn't worry too much because you probably won't be getting leads that much longer if you're only getting a 5% close ratio. So this is a awesome little bump for everyone. Kind of combat that inflation component that we're all feeling a little bit.
I like how you gave the example of the agent that's kind of Eeyore-ish a little bit, like, well, I might get a raise, but my lead cost is going to go up. That's kind of like the person is like, but if I make more money, I might have to pay more taxes. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. You walk outside and it's always raining, man.
Uh-huh.
You know, sometimes the sun is up. If you go from a 90% contract to 100% contract, then here's your numbers again. So it is a win, win, win. So congratulations. Now I will say this, it is definitely better for the people that don't solely rely on leads to make sales. Have I already said that? Should I say it 3 more times? If you are good at resets, if you are good at getting referrals, and you know the best way to get a referral, Mike, is you just say, hey man, you got any referrals for me? I wouldn't say it's the best way, but it's one way. It's better than doing nothing. It's like the best way of getting a reset would be, hey man, you need an annuity? It's better than doing nothing.
It's
If you don't ask,
consistency,
the answer is always no, right?
consistency
Come on.
over correctness.
That's right. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
So I know everybody's really excited about this one. We've been fielding a lot of questions. When's it going to come? When's it going to come? What products? What carriers? Take a look at HQ. You'll be pleasantly surprised. It's the vast majority of all of the products that you have been writing, and the ones that that if they're not seeing an increase, then next time you see a carrier rep lobbying politic and say, look, man, you give the company a little more comp, we could get a little bit more comp and everybody's happy, right? But if they don't have the comp for us to do it, or they're not issuing their business, some of them actually went down because they had an issue rate of about 45 or 50%. Not good. Not good for you, not good for us. And most importantly, it's certainly not good for your client. So
right.
Do the math, draw some circles. You're going to love what you see. Mr. Spivey, break down the s'more. Casey was right.
Slingshot and s'more.
Slingshot and s'more.
Can you say slingshot and s'more slide?
I can promise you I can't, because I've already flubbed this up 3 times practicing this morning.
All right. Don't even try that. I'm with you.
No, what I like most about you guys is the continued effort to make sure that the most profitable position to be in this business is going out and finding new agents to go out and protect clients and protect families out there, guys. There's not a better opportunity right now to make sure that you're having the profits that can flow through your business to make you have a sustainable business from the very jump at this company. So what the founders did, guys, is they started out with what is known as the slingshot bonus. What does that mean? You can make 10% on your personal production with our bonusable carriers with your net placed premium. Think about that. Not only are you getting a 10% contract increase, guys, but you have the opportunity with just the slingshot to get a 10% bonus on that production with the bonusable carriers with the net place premium. But wait, there's more. That wasn't good enough. Not only did the founders do this, but all the equity partners chipped in, guys, to make sure that they were continuing to reinvest in all of you out there that are out protecting these families. And they added what's known as the s'more factor. What does the s'more factor mean? Well, if your goal, if you're at an 80% contract and you're going for the 85% contract now, you've got to get $5,000 in production. With the s'more factor, you can take that personal production, that 10% on what you do on your own pen, and actually get a multiplier and count all of your downline business, because we also know in this business, in order to win early, you got to go find you a running buddy day one. People always ask, how soon should I be recruiting? The answer to that is the second you found this opportunity and you started to even think about getting licensed, you should already be recruiting. But in the s'more factor, you can count that downline production. And if your goal was to get to $5,000 in APV and you got to 10,133, guess what? That's a 2.03% or 2.03 multiplier on top of the 10%, which would shoot your bonus up to 2,053 for the month, basically coming out to be the equivalent of your starting out with Symmetry, guys, at 105% contract level. Truly, truly awesome stuff here.
Love it, buddy.
Yep.
Getting a lot of questions. Here's another example, moving from an 85 to the 90. Massive numbers here. Getting several questions on, are we going to go over the products? You can hop on HQ to get those, but just know it's all the core term products, the Mutual of Omaha, Express Term. It's the SBLI quality level term. It is the QTP that will be coming out. It will be all of the new digital products are going to be a little higher than what they were. The Americo term is included in that. I want to say it's the HMS 125. Don't quote me on these things. Look it up. I'm just trying to give you an idea. The Foresters products, the Foresters term.
Yep.
And again, check HQ for all of those, because not all products are going up. We had to kind of right size that a little bit because if not, we'd have had to raise lead costs, which is too much, which is not what we wanted to do.
It's actually some products that are going down. And so you got to pay attention to the products you're writing. You know, this is the benefit where the company really benefits collectively, which if we collectively benefit as a company, everyone collectively benefits, because again, our mindset is always to invest as much as we can back in to stay way ahead of that puck compared to the rest of the industry, which makes all of your jobs easier, especially if you're building. But pay attention to the new contract levels with these carriers. And if you're a leader out there, make sure you're promoting the right ones and make sure you're kind of we're telling you where we want you. We're telling you guys where we want your new agents and where we want the habits to be created as a company. And it's with the products and carriers that help us retain the right spread with the right issue rates. The health of the business is important. So just pay attention to that stuff. Keep promoting it. Follow you leaders out there with that slingshot. If you don't feel like you're getting the advantage of the slingshot system and that your agents aren't gearing up and pulling up their slingshot shorts, you need to just do a better job of promoting it, making sure are they getting on the calls? Are they being onboarded the right way? Are they into Summit? Is every one of my people that I'm bringing into my business getting that little taste of what a slingshot would do for them? And, you know, those are passive motivators for you guys. But if you don't feel like you're getting that stickiness in the beginning, you just got to analyze your system and analyze your onboarding process and make sure that you're promoting the right things like Slingshot.
I think it's important too to answer the question. Some people will say, how are we able to do this now when we weren't necessarily able to do this earlier? And I think full transparency is important here. Some of the things that you're talking about with some products needing to be adjusted downward is what allows us to do adjust the right products, because they're issuing their business, they're paying the compensation necessary for us to run the business, all those type things. But it's also the moves that we've made in the past with PCS, now with resets, with digital leads, with the new products and all the digi products that are coming out. All of those things help move this. It's also because we've kind of raised the standard as an organization on close ratios and what's acceptable. You guys saw the amount of growth that we've had since 2020. All those things factor into it. So the best question I'm seeing a lot of is what can I do as an agent to really kind of help the company and help make this help make these changes worth it? That's simple.
Yep.
Grow yourself, grow your production, grow your team, find more people. One of the most important things, as I've said a number of times on this call already, is get better at getting sales outside of leads. It helps your profitability immensely. It also helps our profitability. One of the most important things that you can do in addition to that is listen to what this guy right here has to say and do what Mike Resma is telling you to do. And you're going to be seeing a lot more of him over the coming months, all through next year, with Spivey and Ditson and all of his team, Jeff, Nate, the whole crew, teaching you how to uncover products and make passive income without having to do as much for it. This is a big one, Mike. To me, one of the most important things agents can be focused on is this. And I know that because I personally did it. I did it in KC 2000 and right when we started the company, 9 and 10. You and I didn't have as much time to focus on learning advanced markets. For me, it was just all it was annuities. I wasn't comfortable because I didn't take the time to learn them. So I wasn't comfortable sharing with my clients. I didn't have this amazing system like you guys have now. I just would ask a question. And, you know, that's not necessarily scalable, right? But like we were saying earlier, it's better than nothing, Mike. So out of all the things that people can focus on, to me, this is one of the most important, buddy.
Yeah, I want to talk through and thank you for that, Brandon. I totally agree. You know, coming out of conference, we know that we rolled out a lot, right? Switchboard and resets, and now Quilty Financial Advisors, Mike Quilty, Walmart Health, Commerce Bank, right? And it can be overwhelming. Like, what do I focus on as an agency? What do I need to drive the business? And Switchboard and adapting to digital leads was absolutely the right move for all the agencies to focus on. Now, we did have a small group of people that really took that coming out of conference and wanted to implement the FIEF and do the reset. I want to give you guys a little bit of history in the adaptation that we're going to be making and evolving with this program, but I do want to recognize a few people right now. So top agencies, AO level and above, agencies that have adopted the FIF and done this digital form. Coming in at number 3, Jordan Gillum over the last 12 weeks with 83 FIF forms filled out. Congratulations, Jordan. We got Ashley Tarr at 93 coming in at number 2. Way to go, Ashley and Tyler Harris. And we've got coming in at number 1, Eric Johnson at 99 over the last 12 weeks. So they've taken that, and within their agency, that's how many forms that they filled out. So they're incorporating that into their sales process. Now, if we look at top agents coming in at number 3 over the last 12 weeks, Holly Hensley at 31 just for herself. Nice work, Holly. Coming in at number 2, we got Jennifer Merrick with 34, Barbara Mahan, number 1 at 47. Now, if we look at the actual subject matter experts that are doing the resets themselves and writing the production, 2 people over the last 12 weeks have really hit the ground running and had some monster production. So I want to give Joel Edelson a big round of applause. He's done $88,000 of business off of the 60% for him. Only 60%. Joel Edelson has submitted $88,000 from this reset program as being the DFL IBC expert. So nice work, Joel. And Tom Deutsch over the last 12 weeks, $112,000 for just the 60%. $112,000 for Tom Deutsch over the last 12 weeks. So,
slow down for a minute because we need to explain what that means. I know that you have a time frame, we all do too, but when you're saying 60%, that number, $100,000+, doesn't count the 40% of premium that was credited back
to the referring agent, right?
Yes.
So really, the overall premium is much more than that, but this is just what the subject matter experts has done. So it just, when we create this environment of cross-sell and using a team selling environment, I truly believe, over the next 12 months, we can get to a point where there are no more no sales, right? If you think about everything, and especially when you get a no sale, you should be stopping, flag should be going out. Like every single client that we meet with has either debt, no retirement, or some retirement. Think about that. Every single client that we meet with has debt, has no retirement, or has some retirement. And we've got people that are certified to handle that. So it's just a process of getting it over to them because we can eliminate no sales. So I just want to give a little bit of history on what my learnings have been through this reset program over the last 3 months since launch. And I want people to remember that it was really April of 2021 that I started developing this and getting it into IT and getting the development work. We piloted it last December. So December of 2021, we piloted, got the feedback, made those changes, and rolled out in August at conference this year. So if we think about what's happened over the last 12 months and 12 to 16 months, back then when we were first starting this, mortgage protection was our primary market. But over the last 16 months, now we've transformed into digital leads in general life, and the sales process and the consumer has changed in their buying behaviors and what they want in an appointment time. Because I've done some meetings and role play with some agents out there doing general life, and there's no need to do the FIF and the needs analysis and go through all of that in the majority of those appointments because they're already coming in hot and ready to buy. So why would we delay the sales process and take it from 7 minutes to 20 minutes? So that's been a major learning for me. So what I'm telling everybody on here, the 3,000 people that are on here, if everybody just focused on one reset a week, don't worry about the FIF right now. All right. If you're using the FIF, do the FIF, continue to do that. You're seeing success. Great. But if you're not doing the FIF as part of your sales process right now, don't let that be the stopping point of you not being able to provide additional value for that client and additional premium for your agency, right? So what I'm telling you right now is you can just adopt those 2 questions that we put into the scripting, right? One of them being, is your debt preventing you from contributing to retirement? Or is debt on your mind? Is debt making you lose sleep? You can make it really simple, right? If that's the case, you guys have the calendar links inside of HQ in that FIF form. Just grab your DFL SME calendar links, ask those questions. Don't worry about the FIF if you're not doing it, and just reset the heck out of those people to give them the value and the help that they need to help get out of debt. If it's retirement, really easy. Do you know what your retirement income gap is going to be? The difference of income now versus when you retire. Has anybody reviewed your retirement products or your retirement plan recently? Ask really simple questions. Boom, you got the link, just send it out. So this is my thing to all of you. 3,000 people on here. If you focused on 1 reset a week, if all 3,000 people on here did that, it's worth $150 million of submit for us this year. For every 1,000 resets that we get, giving average conversion and close ratios and average case size, every 1,000 resets is worth around $50 million of submit for us as an organization. We've got 3,000 people on here. My challenge to you all, focus on 1 reset a week. If you're doing FIF, great. If you're not, just focus on resetting and getting those clients the help. All right. So,
love that.
God, I love that.
We said a couple weeks ago, Brandon, that one of the most dangerous things you can say in recruiting is "I got a guy," because that guy probably is not going to cut it and might leave, and you got to replace him. It's one of the best things you can say when it comes to resets. Boy, do I got a guy for you. You know, not to put a gender on it because it's probably could be 50% chance it could be a gal. But I think that's the power, Brandon. That's how I kind of thought about it too, is if I am going to kind of book a meeting for someone else, or like I need to kind of edify the team, the subject matter expert to the client, so that when the client does get the follow-up from the subject matter expert, there's a little bit of something for them to stand on. So even if you just remember that, what's that line that I got to remember in every single, I got someone for you. You need to talk to this person. I'm going to get them to reach out, set it up.
I love it. Leaders, you're listening. This is what you need to be talking to your team about. This is what you need to be holding them accountable to. When you're talking to all of your agents, the agents on your teams, these are the things that you need to just be asking, holding them accountable to that, because you just heard the numbers from Mike, and the numbers don't lie. $150 million in premiums, what that could mean to this company. All of you that are ears holders, I bet he's got you listening.
Right.
Yep. For sure. So when you hear us keep hammering this and so excited about it, it's because we know it works when you work it. We know it doesn't when you don't, but we know it works when you work it. So please work it. What else you got there?
Yeah, a couple things, right? PCS, we talked about it, not just doing enforce, but having submit models. So being able to get more data to help out and provide more passive income opportunities for everybody. But conservation is something that I really want to touch on. I don't think we've talked about it a lot, but we do have. I want to just shout out to Colin and Susan running the conservation department. I mean, a team of 2 people. We've got 6 carriers that we get information on pending lapse, and they reach out to find out if it's a payment issue or what's going on, and then they send you guys emails to service those clients to try and get them back on the books. And just with 2 people doing it with 6 carriers, we're saving on average $200,000 a month of prorated premium, almost 400 cases a month with an average of $600 of prorated APV that we're saving. So we have plans to bolster that, put it onto Switchboard, onboard all the carriers, staff up that team even more so that we can have all of those pending lapses and help you guys out with identifying when that's happening. And then the flip side of that is, yes, we're going to be able to save, but we're also going to be able to use that for training. If there's people that are getting a bunch of pending lapses, what type of adjustments do we need to make in our sales process, product recommendations, overselling, hard closing, the wrong product fit. So we'll be able to identify that and help train the AEOs when they're seeing agents that are continually on this pending lapse file, so that we can help continue our mission of training and having the most effective processes there to help drive revenue and help you guys out. So,
yes.
Besides conservation, increasing placement and persistency in a digital world, we talked about last week, taking an application the right way, slowing down, asking the questions, getting the client to be truthful and honest will absolutely help out with placement ratio. As far as persistency, one of the things that, through the digital transformation, what happened is, I think a lot of us forgot that we're in the financial and insurance services industry, right? And really focusing on that last word, service. Because when you're working in the service industry, if your food is really bad, but the service is really good, you're going to have people come back and repeat business. If they're at a 5-star restaurant and the food is good, but the service is really bad, you might not go back. And I want us to be thinking that we're in the services industry. So, there's things that we can do with your admins. And if you guys have the time as the agents to call, make sure that they got that email with the policy delivery and just checking in with them, make sure that they've got it saved. It's a great time to get referrals and resets post-sale as well, just to continue to engage and provide an extra level of service for our clients. So opt reporting update, you guys will see as you attach applications, you select the product that's on there. It's going to ask you a couple of questions of how it was sold. A lot of times we do mortgage protection, but really we're selling final expenses, or sometimes we do mortgage protection and we pivot to DFL. So you're going to be asked a couple of questions on what solution it was sold. So we have better data to help us out in the future. All right. And then I think 2 more here. AIG, we listened to all of you guys. By the end of this month, AIG will be added as a core carrier in the onboarding process. So you have a guaranteed issue whole life product to start off with to help out with those people who don't qualify for the other core products. And then this last one, you guys, is so important. Looking at Navigator, this is the platform for the entire insurance industry going forward. No more for a new agent having to learn every single product underwriting guide and product guide, going to each carrier and looking up quoting. One platform, having all of our digital products and having analog products as well. So it's just one simple, easy user interface platform, does all of the underwriting with the 90% likely to approved as applied for. We'll check all of the products. You don't have to memorize and learn all these different apps. One app, 90% likely to approve all of those products on platform with simple and easy quoting and changing of quotes. It's truly going to be amazing, and very excited to get out of this beta over the next 2 months and then launch it Quilty wide by the end of next quarter.
Well said. I'll give him a hand. Give him a hand.
I know it's a lot. Sorry you're going so fast, you guys. I'll go through the chat with everything, but a lot of cool stuff going on.
A lot of really cool stuff going on. Stop what you're doing. Follow us on social. Your job this week is to follow us everywhere and to like or comment on everything. We've made an announcement at Casey at conference that we were putting more of a focus on this. We're working on that, working on something behind the scenes that we hope to have potentially something worked out for the first part of the year. So maybe sooner. All right. And then what's a good meeting without a BAM fam? And we got some good stuff coming up. So don't jump off just yet, because we got some people that we want you to hear from. We do have our Leaders Summit and Spring Fling coming up. Save the date, March 21st and 22nd. And you can go to HQ for a few more details. I love these pictures, by the way. I love
good taste.
It looks like the dodgeball guy's dancing to me right there, and everybody's just watching his moves. Doesn't it?
Break dancing.
He's breakdancing. He's got good moves. How do you get an invite? This is not open to the public. You have to be an invite. That means that you have to be at least a key leader and above, or anyone that hits key leader qualification at least once between November of this year, so last month, and February of next year, meaning you just have to hit the numbers of 20,000 of net place with 4 sales reps, 3 direct, 1 can include yourself, and that's only a $50 ticket to help us kind of cover the cost, because we're going to be doing some really cool stuff for you guys. So it's family fun, outdoor entertainment and family fun, right?
That's right, buddy. Sorry to interrupt there. So the 21st is going to be an all hands. We're going to be at the, I think we've locked in our theater location in Asheville. So really awesome time to be in Asheville, kicking off spring. Lots of stuff to go over with the all hands. Definitely going to be a bit of a founder's address going on there with some stuff coming. And then the next day on the 22nd is going to be the fun day that we're going to kind of get into some more details as we continue to lock things in. So really excited about this event. It's going to be our first opportunity to really get together with all of you guys as leaders. If you're brand new in this company right now, you could hit this number. You could hit that $20,000 of net placed with 4 sales reps, 3 direct. You could hit this. So we would like to invite as many of you as we can, but this is going to be an invitation only for the leaders that hit these numbers. So get after it.
Yes, sir. Something we announced to the previous year's earners and holders, we're wanting everyone to be able to maximize your grant. So if you missed this, 2022 equity appreciation rights are going to move into the end of Q1 of 2023. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean that if you missed qualifying in 2022, that you can qualify using those first quarter numbers. That's not what this means. It means that we will let those that did qualify know how they can kind of juice their qualification in a number of years by doing things that we need you to do through the first quarter. The reason that we did that is because we don't want to take away from the pool of the people that earned it. We just want the people that are in the pool doing the right things to be able to earn more. I'm not going to tell you what those things are, but you can guess that one of them will most certainly be adopting resets in the reset program.
Yep.
So I would say be sure to get focused on that. And then also coming soon, the largest contest in the history of the world will be happening in 2023, but there will be a qualification period that is going to go out that you have to do to earn part of the contest. And we're talking about the largest contest in the history of the world. That might be a stretch, but it might be the largest contest in the history of the Symmetry world. We got to be careful because of the Pepsi thing that you told me about, Casey. We don't want to be getting sued for
false advertising.
false advertising. You are not going to get a private jet, unfortunately. And it will not be of equal value, but it may be of lesser value. However, it will be something, and we're not kidding or exaggerating. It will blow. It could potentially be 10 times the earnings of any previous contest that we've ever had. So what do you need to be focused on right now? You need to be focused on December, January, and February through the end of March. Personal net placed production. If you were thinking of taking off through the holidays, that's a terrible idea because you're going to miss out on an opportunity to earn some major cash. We're not letting you know exactly what it is yet.
Not just cash, too.
It's not just cash.
There's other things involved as well, which are as exciting to me.
Like pride?
Well, pride, that's at the top of the list for sure. But sun, maybe.
Trophies. Don't talk about sun.
Tons of recognition.
Give it away. I will say that if they're looking for a hint, this contest hit us. The idea for this contest hit us while we were in Cabo, and it's going to be unlike anything that we've ever done. And if you think the contest that we had to win Reggie's Miata was big, or a contest that we had to go on a $10,000 trip was big, trust me, this is going to be way bigger.
So if you're thinking about the last 3 slides, hopefully it's clicking with you guys. This end of this year, first quarter of next year, extremely opportunistic window for our company. And so we want to add as much fuel to the mix as we can right now. Strike while the iron's hot. Again, kind of going back to this land grab. So going back to that spring fling, if you are in the mix right now and you are looking at that, you need to book your flights, back yourself into that corner. If you got to get a refundable flight, just in case you don't hit that key leader number, that's fine. But I would back myself into that corner. I would start looking at my schedule, figure out how to get to that spring fling. Think about this contest. Think about pushing through this year because, again, as Brandon mentioned, that starts December 1st. It started last week, so it's retroactive. So you're already in qualifying for this biggest contest of the year. And then for all of you ears holders for 2022, you got an extra quarter to focus on some things to grab a little bit extra market share there.
Yep. 2021 ears, as we told all the ears holders on the call a few weeks ago, going out before the end of the year. So stay tuned. We're hoping to make your holiday just a little bit
brighter. That's right.
A little brighter and cheerier. I want to hear from some amazing people that we have on the call. And I don't want to miss anyone. So we don't have long. We got about 42 minutes.
Yep.
I'd like to do, what do you think, Casey? Like a 2 or 3 minute, 2.5 minute round here?
Really, we wanted just to give everyone out there in conference call land a little pulse, a little taste, because Brandon and I got that in Cabo. A lot of you leaders you have the pulse, but we wanted to give everyone just a little glimpse at the momentum and the energy of what's happening in the company right now. So that was the idea with getting Misty Cintron on, I'm looking at names on my screen. Should we just have everyone that we've invited?
Yeah, y'all can all unveil.
Yeah, everyone unveil. Let's make a party out of this next little chapter here.
Keep muted though. Let's start with, on my list, it's Ashley Richard. Where are you at, Ashley? I see you now. I think your story is an amazing one. We want to hear it more. Can't do it all right now, but just so everybody kind of knows who we're dealing with here. Single mom, homeschool by day. Is that right? Massive producer by night and by weekend, became an agency owner, and in the same month became an elite producer. And I think that's one of the coolest things ever, because this is somebody that's like, I'm not going to lose it. I'm going to go out and do 90% of the production needed on my own, and whatever else you guys want to do to help me, come on. So Ashley, so good to have you. And it was good to hang out with you, even though it was very briefly while we were in Cabo. What's going on in your world?
Just trying to grasp that this is reality. Unreal just to be at that place. That was the most extraordinary vacation I think I've ever been on, and to bring my sister on that and just have her be around everyone. And I have to say thank you to you guys. I mean, to go from, 3 years ago was about this time when I called Ryan and was like desperate and crying of like, hey, you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. Please help me. To now, be where I'm at in the company is just surreal. And I very vividly remember you guys on a national call 3 years ago. And something clicked in my mind of like, this might be bigger than I actually understand right now. And I just really want to commit to this and plug in and do whatever the heck Ryan and Michelle told me to do. And here I am. It's crazy.
People always ask this question because they're always looking for the next Ashley Richard. How were they found? You actually called them. Did you know them previously?
Yeah, as many of you know, Ryan Miller has probably one of the best reputations of any human being that I've ever met. So, I mean, just that I had heard about Ryan and Michelle quite often, just what type of human beings they were, how they ran their agency. And I always joke because I had Ryan's number in my phone for 3 years. So I had John Ziller and Ryan Miller, and I was like, crap, which one do I call? Which Iller do I call? And I called Ryan Miller. Sorry, John, but
don't tell John that he's brokenhearted right now.
He is,
for sure. Give everybody a piece of advice. I mean, how do you go out and change your life as quickly as you're talking about, as you did? I think how does somebody go out and become an elite producer? $40,000 in a month of production. How the heck do you do that?
Gosh, my best advice. So my why is obviously like really big. Been through a lot of painful things, and being able to plug into just a system that worked. I kind of use Symmetry as like therapy for me for what I was going through. Being able to turn that into something good and just connect with people, talk to people, meet every single family where they were, talk to them like they were, right in front of me, and actually put myself in their shoes and care about what happened to their family. Sharing stories back and forth and just being your authentic self. I mean, I don't really know how to be anyone else except, I'm very sarcastic. I like to laugh and I like to have fun and stuff like that. And so, and I genuinely care about people. I genuinely care what happens in their lives. And I think that helped me, write a bunch of business and in turn, and just meeting people where they are.
I love it. Ashley, thank you. Let us know how we can help.
Killing it.
We definitely want to hear more from you for sure.
Firing.
Yes, absolutely. Misty, I looked up at you in Cabo and I said, "What you doing up there?" You said, "Oh, just writing some apps." Or you said something like, "Hang on, I'm writing an app." Like,
You said good morning. I was like, it sure is.
Yeah.
I'm up here writing an app. It's
That's
always
so
good morning
awesome.
when you're writing apps.
absolutely. Getting ready to break the all-time agency record for your agency, which is that the Spill Dinner agency?
Delaney.
The Delaney
We broke it
agency.
yesterday.
You broke it yesterday. How much production in a year did it take to break that record?
I think we needed 406,000 something. I'm at 409,000 right now
Goodness.
on my pen.
Hello.
Goodness. So what do you attribute that to? What advice can you give everybody that's looking in?
Be coachable, massive action. I mean, I definitely have massive action. I talk to at least touch, whether it's email, text, call, at least 100 people a day. To get those kind of numbers, you've got to put in like the work. There's no doubt.
You said you do 100 people a day.
Yeah,
And that gets
whether
you
it's
roughly $40,000 of production a month, a touch less, but there's still some time left in the year. So you might actually come out and average that. So it just takes massive activity, massive action.
yeah, I'd like to say I'm special. I'm really not special, just a lot of massive action.
I would probably say that you're still pretty special. I don't
I'll
know.
take it,
Delaney,
thank you, but
anything you want to throw in there, Brian?
There we go. Time is of the essence. She came in 2 years, tripled her income. 2 years. 2 years, she grew it by 300% because she acted like an owner and owned it. She found ways to bring her best here, and we know that. I don't think Misty needed Symmetry as much as Misty needed Misty, and we got to help introduce her to her best self and just see how that could come out. Just think the world of her leadership team in Ian Graham, Trey Alderson-Cloutier, the whole Spiel Dinner Group leadership team. But Misty is a force, and she doesn't read any of the press. She just keeps her head down and does the work, protects more families, develops more leaders. So really proud of her, and know this is just the beginning of the beginning for her and so many others. So proud of you, Misty.
Misty, Casey and I sometimes we like to gamble on our own contests. So please make sure that you have a good December, January, February, March, because I'm going to go ahead and play it. Yeah.
Casey,
I have to put odds to it, but it's going to be tough between you and Ashley. We don't do that though. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Misty. Yep. I want to hear from Miranda Martin. You are an advisory board member. You have been doing this for a while, but you jumped back into the field working Razor Ridge leads yourself. I think some of the greatest leaders, Casey, always have this, I need to go prove to myself so that I can teach others how to do it. And you are definitely leading from the front in that way, Miranda. So after hearing just what everything that was going on, we definitely wanted to hear from you.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been a change of speed from what I'm used to, but it's been really good. At conference, I put in my SLO for 10 razors a week, and I was terrible, just like most people when they started it. And then all of a sudden, like listening to the processes, I know Gino did a really helpful call working with Natasha Washington, like things just kind of came together. And my goodness, like it has to be the easiest thing I've ever done now. I can't get over it. Every single day, I'm like, this is the easiest thing I've ever done. And it's so cool because just seeing like kind of what's going on, like multiplying. We did a whaling call last week and my phone's been blowing up nonstop with, oh my gosh, my agent wrote 10 grand this week, or 5 apps in a day. And since the call, and it's like, it just has me so excited because it feels really hard until it's not. And then it's the easiest thing you've ever done.
I know. What is the key though? Because some people would say that you were in a position where you had the ability to push through and it was easier to push through. But for somebody that's maybe new, or for somebody that's only been here for a year, what are some keys for them to kind of push through that hard phase to get to where it becomes the easiest thing they've ever done?
So I think the biggest thing is being committed to a process, because there's a lot of things out there. And I was like trying to do 100 things. I was hearing 100 different ways of doing it. But when I finally said, okay, I'm going to do it this way, and I got my foot on the gas pedal, and I'm calling these people as soon as they come in, sending them like my credentials, boom. And I call them, just like Misty said, a lot. Like she's talking about 100 dials a day. I think that's awesome. I think that's a great target, right? But these guys get called all the time from me, from all these different phone numbers. And then after that, when I was getting people on the phone, at first I couldn't get the people to show up, God to show up. And then now it's like using some of the things that I did in the home at the very beginning, like role and purpose, throwing a decide tonight rebuttal right up front, like that decide tonight script. And I went from closing like no one to closing like 90%, just like I did in real life. And it's just like, it's so quick. I just love it.
Like 90% of what?
The people I get on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, it's cool. It's so
Amazing.
cool and so
All right.
fun.
So Misty, Ashley, and Miranda, leave your cameras open for a second, because I need you to take a little bit of a pledge or an oath. I need the three of you to make sure that you know exactly what Resma's process is that he needs you to do for resets. I won't make you like raise your right hand and swear on anything, but give me at least yep, I'm going to add this into my process. Resma, you see that? Everybody I'm getting ready to talk to, you're going to have to take this pledge, because you heard what it can do for the company. And you guys, you ladies that are killing it in production, we need you to teach everyone how to kill it in getting resets, so that you can, as many apps as y'all are writing, do you know what this might do for your bottom line without having to do anything more than ask a question? That's crazy to me. All right. So Resma, you got them now. You got to hold, they've said it in front of 3,000 people. So they have to do it. Miranda, we couldn't be more grateful. Seriously, more proud, grateful. It hadn't always been easy, but God, you have a way of making it look that way. So thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
Got a couple of folks on here that just like killed it on the road to direct. It's going to take us all a while. We're so used to saying the 120. Now we're going to have to say the 130. We have one more week, right? But Jordan Hunt of the Hunt Agency, I like your shirt. We definitely wanted to hear from you and Jamie. Jordan, we'll start with you though, buddy. Let's talk about the journey, man. I know we don't have a ton of time to talk about the journey, but like it always kind of comes back to advice and, you know, what can people take from either the things that you learned or the mistakes that you made or whatever. But what do you got for us, bud?
Yeah, grateful to be here, Jordan Hunt, direct to the one and only Brian Delaney. Grateful for you, Brandon and Casey, especially you right now, Brandon, for just letting me go before Jamie. That's really important to me, right? Because my numbers are going to sound really good until we, get over there. But anyway, man, I heard it said that a good friend of mine, Rob Purley, he was talking about the business. And he said, this business is actually better than you think it's going to be. For the new people, if this is your first time on a call, it's actually better than you think that it's going to be, not because it's easier, but because it's actually harder and you can do hard things.
Love that.
Yeah. It's a journey. I love how Jimmy would talk about it, right, sis? That if we could just go back, to those tough times while you're in the grind, first 6 months, first year, first 2 years, whatever it is. But if we could go back, looking back on that time, like we would be willing to go through 10 times the amount of struggle that we went through, because it's just so good being up here, man. So worth it.
The blessing is the struggle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is that the advice then? Like, lean into that adversity, lean into that struggle. I love that we can do hard things. You can do hard things. Just because you haven't done hard things, or you haven't done them well, or you've quit before, or you've quit early, it really just comes down to a decision of commitment so that you don't do that again. And, commitment comes, it doesn't come, the easy part is voicing the commitment. The hard part is continuing with that commitment. And so maybe a good piece of advice from you, Jordan, is like, what did you do to continue to re-up that commitment? What did you do to continue to have that when you were going through that adversity and getting kind of kicked in the gut? It was easier for you to quit than others because you did more of it and you did it longer than the people that you're talking to. But how can they continue to kind of re-up that commitment?
I think that, having really, really clear goals around in 30, 60, 90-day increments is so important. Like, when I look across the landscape of just my business, tell me one person that's in your business that's been at the same level of leadership or the same commission level for more than 6 months that's actually thriving. Probably not many of them, right? Like, if you're not going for it, if you don't actively have a goal that you're reaching for and you're pushing for inside of, these next 30 days, and getting really clear about where I want to be, right? And having that month finished where I want to be before I even begin that month is so important, right? Whenever we start making decisions about our business, and it's like, not how do I grow my business, but how do I just keep what I have, right? So when we start making decisions out of, I just don't want to lose what I have right now. I don't want to lose the people that I have on my team right now. And, any NFL season, 70% of the scoring happens in the last 2 minutes of each quarter when the defense is switched to a prevent defense, right? 70% of all scoring over an NFL season happens whenever there's one team that's trying to win and another team's just trying to not lose. And if you're trying to not lose, guess what you're doing? You're giving up points and you're giving up ground. So get goals and take ground. Don't just, try to just hang out here at this level. Get really clear about what it's going to take to get to the next one is very, very important. And you guys did a great job with that, just laying out those not only the levels of leadership, but the promotion guidelines top to bottom is just absolutely incredible. And the business is better than it's ever been. It's not easier. Right. It's not any easier. It still requires work and all those things, man. But just so grateful to be here, man. And for
good stuff, man. Love that. Appreciate you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Seuss. Jamie, you kind of you were one of the fastest, if not the fastest, it feels like, to get to where you are. And just continuing to blow everybody away in the Pogue group and in the entire company. Give us some words of wisdom. How can people come in, and when did you come here? When did you start?
Sarah Reinecke and I came here in March of 2020, tested in May. First month was June of 2020 in the field. So 29 months ago, to do the math.
Wow. And before that, you just had tons of insurance experience.
Tons. Yeah, no, none. No.
Zero insurance experience. How did you do it as quickly as you did it? And I know that you got to be proud of your buddy too. It looks like Team Reinecke also just had an amazing month. I've never seen a team rally like they did. You guys show people how to do that. I think potentially better than anybody I've seen in 20 years of doing this business. So it's just amazing to watch y'all in action, and the way that you can rally your troops and the leadership. And I was able to kind of be a part of a couple of calls with Sarah and her team. And I was telling Jacob on vacation, man, it just kind of blew us away. So, and I know you're a big part of that too, Jamie. But super proud of you guys. Give us some advice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they did 40,000 in 2 days. Just absolutely crazy.
Unbelievable.
So, a snapshot comes up anytime soon. We're ready. But just super grateful. Sarah sent me a Facebook message and said, you got to come do this with me. I'm like, I have FOMO. So whatever it is you're doing, I'm in. And jumped on board, didn't do any research, no insurance experience at all, and met Jacob Pogue So I came in, Sarah Reineke, Jacob Hogue, Marshall Wayland, and now saying direct to the company is just absolutely crazy. Super grateful for all of you and Meredith Ellison and Kayla Rosser and all the people in the home office. It's just been incredible. But it really was, like Casey talks about all the time, making a decision. Made a decision. Sarah and I came here knowing how to work with people and love on people. We say this all the time, that loving on people is free. And it's not the system that people come here for. It's not the perfect script. It's none of those things. They come here wanting someone to believe in them. And that's just what we did. And we have a great retention rate. We hire cold market, warm market, and people, they love our culture and they're profitable. And those are two ingredients that were really important to us. And my husband now gets to do this. Corey, got to retire him a few months ago.
Nice.
Our life just looks very different, but it's amazing.
I love that advice because it takes so many people years and years and years to figure that out. You said it doesn't cost you anything to love on people. It doesn't cost you anything to not be a manager, but to be, a leader, or more importantly, it's a leader for sure, but it's also just someone that cares enough about the other person to want to make an impact. And, people didn't join this industry or this business to have a boss, right? They need encouragement. They need positivity. They need to be part of something that lifts them up, because we have every opportunity to get our teeth kicked in every day, because even the best agents are going to get told no a lot, right? Either by recruits. People are going to quit on them. People are going to give up on them. People are going to cancel their policies. There's so much negativity that can happen, but you guys have shown like just how important positivity is, and to create this culture and this atmosphere where people have this place to keep coming to and to come back to, and just be part of something with good energy and good positivity. So thank you for that. I had to reiterate that because I didn't want anybody to miss it. I think there's still probably leaders and managers that boss too much. Don't be bossy. Yep. Be leady.
Let's spend 2 minutes too on some tactical stuff on this road to 120 or 130. Because there's I would imagine 80-90% of the conference calls on that journey, or wants to be on that journey of, like Jordan says, taking ground, moving up the promotion guidelines. Not only is that affecting my personal production and my commission rate there, it's affecting my spread for building. I'm getting into that passive income world. But there's so many things to do. There's so much to juggle. How big has delegation been for you guys on this road? Because if Brandon and I analyze our journey, a lot of it was about delegating to elevating, and continuing to, like, I'm going to fire myself from the previous job. And in order to do that, I've got to mentor someone else to take that spot, whether that's an assistant or a recruiter or admin, whatever it is. Can you guys briefly just hit on that component for you guys?
Jamie, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
Awesome. I had to delegate early. I had a baby 3 months after starting this journey, and 3 kids being homeschooled and elementary school age. I mean, it was crazy. I had to hire help in my house. We had to hire an admin fairly quickly. We had a recruiter fairly quickly. And early on it was, man, we can't afford to do this. And Jacob Hogue, who's just the best mentor, was like, you can't afford not to. And I know where you're going, and I know that you need help in order to do it. So you're gonna have to figure it out. Andrew Mena, same thing. You're gonna figure out you help other people figure out their finances. You're gonna figure out your own pretty quick here. And we treat it like a business. It's our core value, and delegating out is important if you want to grow daycare.
What were the things that you first delegated? What were those jobs?
Yeah, for me it was nanny, for me to get myself freed up to have a schedule that I could work it. Recruiting early on was a big one, because all day booking interviews is really hard to run the interview when you're also booking the interview and placing the ads. That's another thing. And then having someone do the back office stuff, track pending business, that's like a full-time job in itself. So whatever can take you out of the management phase and put you in the creative phase of bringing new people into your business, focusing on the new people more than the ones you already have is huge too early on.
Good. Jordan, anything to add to that, bud?
Focus on doing high dollar per hour activities, right? If I can put in 10 hours a day, right, or or just 10 hours a day. If I have a full-time recruiter, which was the first hire that I made, just taking those first interviews off of my plate, then that goes to 20 hours I can get into a day. And then you add an admin, now it gets up to 30, right? But you need to learn how to do those things for yourself first. So you're going to be able to teach somebody else, right? Because you're not going to be able to teach somebody to do something for you that you've never done for yourself. So go out there, learn how to run first interviews, learn how to do all those things so that you can teach someone how to do it and do it well. And don't cut any corners, man, because if you cut corners, they're going to come back and cut you. So make sure that you get the right person on board.
Love that. Brandon, I think it's like what you hear from these guys, and it's the same thing. If you're out there and you're like, I struggle with delegation, I think one of the best things you can do is just understand it might be that you struggle with your actual mindset around this whole thing. What your wiring is like, because if you're wired for money and you're trying to shape this business for money, then you'll end up chasing money and you may or may not get it sometimes. But if you're wired for time, then you'll naturally delegate. And when you naturally delegate, your business can naturally scale and grow. And so are you wired for money or are you wired for time? If you're wired for time, delegation will come easy. Brandon, I think that's why you and I always had such an easy time with delegation. It was like, I want more time, like money's great, but I want more time. And when your business experiences that rewiring, it naturally scales and then money follows. It's pretty cool.
That's really
That's
good.
what you're seeing.
Yeah, well said. A couple more people to hit while we have a little more time left. Kevin Purdy, Advisory Board alumni, legacy. I think we went with legacy. KP, man, it was good seeing you in paradise as well, man. You got it's been a heck of a run for you the last, probably 18 months. Is that right? You've spit out 3 directs. You got another, or is it 3 or 4? Now 3 and 1 on the way. Yeah. So just want to hear from you, man, because everybody's not only chasing that journey, but the most important journey, which is how do I bring as many people along with me as possible? And how do I make an impact on those people that are coming up in my organization and serve them so that they can get the same thing that I'm getting?
I think really everything that a new person or somebody trying to break out of the funk to get to that higher level has been said in the past 10 minutes. If you look at what Jordan said about prevent defense and playing conservative, if you just listen to Jamie talk about, getting out of her comfort zone, you can look for all the reasons to have an excuse and not do something, having a baby, doubling down, listening to her mentor, Jacob saying, hey, you can't afford not to. These little things, if you put in all the ingredients, and then you go to Miranda talking about, I stunk at this. I was terrible, but yet I still did it. I went out and I had the right attitude. Loving on people. These are all the key ingredients that really can grow not only successful personal production, but also successful agency. And, my only comment to everybody, is really to run your own race. Pay attention to, are you getting better? Are you a better person? Are you really going for it? We can all look at, the new 120s of the world here. Reineke's coming up. We just heard Hunt, Susie, and be like, what? They're just better. No, they're just going for it more. They're hiring more. They're listening more. They're counseling more, and they're not looking over their shoulder. We always heard in racing, Danica Patrick. You see her all over the place talking about this. Her father gave her advice driving a race car. He said, you got to look forward. If you're looking behind you, your arms and everything, they're going to pull you to where you're looking and you're going to crash. So look forward, run your own race, and good things are going to happen, but be positive.
Love it, man. Thank you, buddy. Who else wants to jump in there? JP, Pogue, part of the Impact Club.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
Like I just saw you, man.
I know. I know. And had a great talk with you yesterday as well, because I didn't get to finish my time with you in Cabo. You had to get out of there early, but
I know. I ended the day early. I I guess y'all missed the memo, and you and Meredith called. You're like, yeah, I looked up. You weren't there. I was like, yeah.
I was just standing up on
there.
stage calling out your name, and you weren't even there. It just really, I felt lonely for a minute there.
Great trip, man. Great. Just seeing it's humbling to be on this call. It never, like, I'm glad I'm almost 10 years into it in January, and being part of this group and looking at all these faces and knowing it's just 10 of many people that I respect and admire in this business. You could shuffle them out, put another 10 leaders that you picked, and man, that's what this company is created from. It's just a bunch of average and ordinary people that are able to do extraordinary things, guys. And it's because we have extraordinary people at the top of it, who continue to invest and reinvest, invest and reinvest in their people and the infrastructure and our clients, right, with better products. It's just insane what we've been able to be the benefactors of over the years, man. And you talk about some of these people who are racing to the top of this company. And Kevin, I love that advice, man, because it hamstrung me in this business, trying to compare myself to other people, trying to be able to remember a quote like Brian Delaney. I would say that he just memorized, he can pop them off the top of his head, but he gets mad at me when I say that because he says he puts a lot of work into it. So we get it. Okay. But he's amazing, right? I'd compare myself to your sales ability, Kevin, and I could go on and on with so many other attributes of so many people, but it never got me anywhere. What coaching through Giant and the coaching cohorts through this company that you can get, I think it'll teach you. And one of the best things is to stay in your lane. And Meredith said it at conference. Look, we don't need you to be just like anyone. We just need you to be the best version of you. And once I could start walking into that and realize that some of my gifts were encouraging and inspiring others, loving on people, like Jamie said, my business started to really grow and move forward. I'm just so grateful to be here. I'm so excited for how we're finishing this year. Because of the structure and y'all's investment, we get to have 30 and 40% growth at an agency our size. I was texting with our staff this morning, and it took us 3 to 4 years to break out 6 to 7 agency owners. We got to figure like what months they broke out, right? We've broken out 7 agency owners this year, 14 team leaders, 6 key leaders, and 6 agency directors, which what that says is 6 of those 7 managers were under another agency owner, like another, and that's layers and layers of leadership. There's a lot of people winning in a big way here. A lot of people scratching and clawing their way to the top. I can't believe that I get to be at it with y'all, because I remember, and I want you to remember, if you're sitting there saying, how do they do that? I could never do that. Look, I was that same person looking at Edward and Marshall when their teams were doing $300,000 a month, saying, how do you find 50 people on your team? How do you find one? Right. And now I have the honor and privilege of serving on the advisory board, being considered to be on a call like this. Anybody can do this. It starts with one step, man. So I would take that step today, and I would run with what's coming from this company. Appreciate you guys.
Love that.
Thank you, buddy. Love that, man. Cece, with your new glasses on?
Hey, yeah, I'll jump in real quick. Thanks guys for having us on the call, for sure. What an awesome call. I took like 48 screenshots, every slide that I could get a hold of. Just want to show, say thanks to you guys for sure. And I think most everybody on this call has been a mentor to me in some regard in the past 10 years that Ayers and I have been here with Symmetry, but special thanks to 2 of them in on this screen, Mr. Brian Delaney, Mr. Edward Pritchett, for just showing us the way. I think this business is great for analogies. There's like so many life analogies, and Casey, I've heard you say many, many times that that symmetry, quality, that it's a vehicle. And when I first got started in the field, I was driving a smart car around Atlanta. I'm not talking about a Tesla, right, Brandon? I'm talking about one of those little tiny cars that look like a tennis shoe, kid's tennis shoe. And I think it's an analogy for me because there's been a lot of times in the business where I tried to innovate before I just learned to imitate. And so that would be a piece of advice that I have for everyone is like, man, we have now more than ever some of the most brilliant minds, not only in the home office, but just we have some of those brilliant minds like showing us how to make this thing fast, right? A fast vehicle, not just a smart vehicle. And so now, like, fast forward, like, I don't drive a smart car, I drive a fast car. And it's way more fun than driving the little smart car that I was driving. I promise you, I think the engine is as big as the smart car was in its entirety. But it was just a reminder to me that, now 10 years in, Symmetry has been a vehicle for the things that I have wanted to do in my life. And I would not have been able to see those things play out if I had not gone through the past 10 years with you guys and the things that I've had to learn about myself and the things that I've learned just from developing myself as a leader, growing alongside of Ayers with this business, who's my advisory board, wouldn't be here without Ayers. But I think that, now this thing is the ultimate driving machine, which just happens to be the same car that I drive now, which is really, really cool. So my advice is just use this thing as a vehicle, imitate what is going on here before you try to innovate, so you can get distracted from trying to always make it better. It's better, you guys. The vehicle is here. Get in, drive it fast.
Love it.
Thanks for having me on the call.
I saw that fast car the other day. I love that thing.
I love
man.
that.
Cool. We got time for two more. Brad Smith.
Yes. Glad to be on.
Best looking microphone in the business right there, buddy.
Thanks to Matt. This is Matt's old mic, so I agree.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, just tell us what's on your mind. It's good being able to catch up with you last week too.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was a great trip. Just not long enough, but super fun. Great people to hang out with. I'm excited about where we're at, and some people may be a little surprised to hear that because of all the things you hear in the news and inflation and interest rates up and mortgages down and change is coming, and it can create fear. But I hear it from you guys all the time that these dips, these things that are challenges, are the opportunities for land grab. They're the opportunities for the right people to take advantage of. And I look back on my journey since I started here 9.5, almost 10 years ago, and it seems like it's been constant adjustment, not change, but adjustment, because we're constantly improving. We're constantly looking for a better way. And I would say one piece of advice that I would give as I look back on everything that, and I'm so grateful for everything that you guys have done for us and my family and for me personally. But one lesson that I've taken from you guys is be quick to adapt, but slow to change course. There's so many people that reflect back on this last year. We're in December now. We're getting ready to start a new year. And I remember my first year in the business, I wasn't quite as far along as I thought I'd be. I didn't quite make as much money as I thought I would. Like, just comparing it to the amount of work I put in, I did okay. I did better than I had the year before. So I was happy with it, but I really wasn't exactly where I thought I'd be. And so many times in my life, I take those feelings of not being where I thought I'd be, and I start making decisions of change. I can't stay here, so I've got to change course. And on any, you've got a mountain bike behind you, Casey. When you pick your route, when you pick the course, you pick the trail that you're on, you're not expecting it to be smooth sailing. You're expecting there to be obstacles in the way. When you run up against an obstacle, you don't change the path that you're on. You simply find a way to overcome the obstacle. And so how do you do that? You do that. You start out the call, Casey, by saying that where you want to start this call is by acknowledging where we're at. And I think that's step one, is acknowledging where you're at, giving yourself even a little bit of grace that not everything happened because of you, that there are things that happen in life. I can tell you, I know as much as anyone on this call that there's things that can happen in life that can change your course a little bit. They can kind of put things in your way, and acknowledging that, I think, is helpful, but also taking responsibility. And I'm not saying, like, a lot of people don't understand what that word even means. It doesn't mean that you're at where you're at 100% because of what you've done. There are things that happen that put you where you're at. Responsibility. I'm going to blow somebody's mind, Casey, on the definition of responsibility. It's your ability to respond, not react. Respond. That takes pause. That takes a timeout sometimes. It takes reflecting. That takes acknowledging what you've been through and where you're at and where the company's at, where the economy's at, and who's on the bus with you, and then determining what my best path forward is. Because here's what I know. It doesn't matter what we're going through as a company or what you're going through individually. There will always be somebody at the top of the leaderboards. Somebody will always be at the top. There's somebody right now at the top of the leaderboards. What are they doing that you're not? How can you learn what they know? What can you do to change so that you can adjust, not change direction, but adjust so that you can be at the top of leaderboards too, and taking responsibility that you are in control. That's what I love about that word. You are in control. It doesn't matter where you're at. You have the choice. You are the architect of your life. You get to design whatever life you want, and you are in full control if you just take the responsibility. So that's the best advice I'd give, Casey.
Yep. I have a feeling you probably blew a bunch of minds on that one, buddy.
Pretty damn good advice, I would say.
So good. So good. That's
For
a mic
sure.
drop.
Yep. Mr. Pritchett,
Close this down,
so
buddy.
you still in Cabo?
That would be nice.
Are you in your other paradise?
I am in and on the beautiful island of Puerto Rico right now, which is nice. And I'm headed back to good old Ash Vegas tomorrow. So excited to get back in town and, pull out my winter jacket and see some sleet or snow or whatever the heck y'all got going on there right now.
Raincoat
It ain't pretty right now, I can tell you that.
But I mean, it's the beautiful thing about this business. I'm just, looking back on this past year and the number of trips and places that we've been and people that I've been able to interact with and hang out with, and just being able to pop down to Cabo for a weekend, right? Like that's not something most of us ever thought, 10 years ago. Like that's just something I'm going to be saying. Oh yeah, let's just pop down to Cabo for the weekend and hang out with, our business partners and good friends. But that's what this business has offered our family. I mean, it's now, everybody's been throwing out that how long they've been here, and to look back over 12 years and see what this company has done. And I'm going to take something that Brad was saying just a second ago and just say it in a different way, because what he said was so true about changing courses. And I think it's what you guys have done such an amazing job with for this company, no matter what, is that we know change is going to happen. Everything changes with the exception of principles. The principles of success, the principles of being a good person, the principles of doing right, that stuff has always remained the same. What we do in this industry, selling life insurance, protecting the families that we protect, the principle of that, I don't care how you do it, the principle behind it is always going to be the same. And everyone that I see on this call right now, they're some of the most principled people when it comes to that. I look at every individual out here, whether on the production side or building their agency, they're out here in a principled way, trying to help people protect what matters most. And that's what you guys have given us that opportunity. And by doing that, it's probably one of the most valuable things that we can give to someone else. And that's why we can be rewarded in such an amazing way, why this company continues to be awarded in the way it has been over the years. And that's what I'm excited about right now, is that change is not just coming, change is happening. right? Like, I don't care whether you want to talk about leads or the stock market or the mortgage market or put something in front of a word and it's changing, right? But the principles are remaining the same, and the companies that stick with those principles of success that are universal, they're the ones who continually find themselves on the top. It's why this company finds itself continuing on the top. It's why those people who are on the leaderboards, why they're continually on the top. If you're not getting the results that you want, if the change is affecting you and you're just worried all the time about what's coming next, check your principles. Because if the principles that you're following are the principles, the core values that this company has stood by for the 12 years I've been here, then you're gonna get the right results at the end of the day. It's just a matter of time. And that's what I love about this. I love about being in partnership with you all. Again, everyone who's on this call, why I'm so grateful to be able to call them not only friends, but actual business partners, right? Like, I will give Jacob Pogue a reference any day, right? Because I know the principles that he stands behind, and they match the ones that I stand behind. I see that in his organization. That's how we're able to do this when other people out there in our space, they just don't get it. Like, how are we able to work together so well and, you know, sharing meetings and back out? We are following the same core principles. So that's what I'm the most excited for. I don't care about what changes may come next, because that's just life. The principles, they haven't changed. They're not going to change, and we're going to keep working them to do the things that we know are the right things for ourselves, the clients that we serve, and thereby the agents that get to be a part of this every single day. So again, just so appreciative of you guys and everything that you're doing on your side. And I hope that everyone who's on this call rises to that challenge, that we're going to really stick into those principles and blast through any changes, any obstacles, as you said, Brad, that may be coming our way. So appreciate you all.
Love it, man. Thank you for that. Thank you, everybody. 3 minutes over is pretty good.
That's
feel
right,
like, Casey.
That's right. 2 hours
Yeah,
is
really good. You guys all did
long for a conference call, world, but for State of the Union and for all we wanted to share, it was well worth it. So,
and to hear, to hear everything that these guys squeezed into that amount of time. Really appreciate all of you. I think we'll have another opportunity to talk before the new year for sure. Maybe even 2.
That's right.
But just remember what we said. Get while the getting's good, and the getting is great right now. So go get it.
We are setting up for a rockin' 2023, and for everyone out there listening in, like, your success in 2023, it's what are you doing right now to set yourself up for that? Because a business, you know, as an entrepreneur, bit of a pipeline effect when it comes to working and growing yourself and your business. So it's what are we doing right now? Are we pushing when we need to push? And we feel like we're setting ourselves up for the biggest year we've had in a very long time, considering all the competitive, you know, situations out there where no one seems to be focused on what we're all focusing on. So get it while it's good, as Brandon said.
That's right. Love y'all.
Thank
Talk
you.
soon.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Bye.